Welcome back to day 7 of our Spain vacation. Today we are visiting Montserrat and we are going on a trail ride up into the mountains. We're very excited. This is our last full day of being tourists in Spain. So what a fun way to end the day. Tag along and welcome to Spain. It is 7:30 a.m. and we are on our way to our horseback tour for the day. This is pretty much the only thing that we have planned today other than traveling back to Madrid, and we're going to take an hour-long horseback ride to Montserrat, which is a monastery, really famous monastery outside Barcelona, up in the mountains kind of. So we're going to take our horseback tour, get to explore the monastery, and then come back to Barcelona to get on a train and head to Madrid. We made it to our tour place. I'm not gonna lie, I just booked this on TripAdvisor, so I really was not expecting a whole lot, but this is very well organized. It's a whole tour guide company, so there's a lot of tours that are going to Montserrat. We just happen to be on the horseback tour, so we go up with all of the tours and then we branch out to go on the horseback tour. So we're waiting for the guide right now, but I mean, they have a whole like office building and very easily to communicate. So already it has exceeded my expectations because I just expected to get on a bus and go find some horses, but this is much more organized.
The next traffic light, we are going to cross the Paseo de Gracia, the main avenue of the city center that we were talking about before.
Okay. So we took a bus ride with everybody else who's going to tour the monastery, and then we got dropped off and we're in a taxi now, and the taxi is going to take us to the ranch where the horses are, and then we'll meet back up with the rest of the tours because there's different kinds of tours. We're going to meet up with them later at the monastery, but we're on our way to the ranch. Kenneth found some cows. His trip is complete. He has seen Spanish cows. We made it to the ranch, and Kenneth is in his natural habitat. There are dogs, there are horses, there's our cows, and there's grass. So he's thrilled. We're going to use the restroom, and then we're going to saddle up and go on our ride.
They better saddle my pony for me.
Yes, you paid for it, so they will saddle your horse for you. I'm not certain, can't confirm, but I think this is going to be my horse, and I think her name is Brandy. Could be wrong. We're just assuming on the order, which I think it means that I'm going to bring up the rear. So I'm going to be riding drag today with Brandy, which is great because we've been bonding since we got here. Yeah, this is Brandy. Yeah, I'm riding drag with Brandy.
I'm really sorry.
Brandy and I ended up at the front. This is our guide, Laura, here. Going on our tour. So here we are riding up the mountain. I think we're going to have a view up here.
So, I'm sorry guys, but I don't think you're going to get to see the mountain today.
We got to see it yesterday. We went on a winery tour and we got to see it. So over here is where Montserrat, the mountain, would be. It's a cloudy day, but we got to see it yesterday when we were at the winery. So we have seen it. It is beautiful. If you haven't watched yesterday's vlog, you can go back. It's probably about halfway through. When we're leaving the winery, I took a shot of the mountain. It's very jagged, really big.
And we hope that using this
Our guide, Laura, was telling me, so in Spain, they are American quarter horse breeders, and they train cutters, reiners, working cow horse, and they're trying to build up their bloodlines because it's obviously small industry in Spain, but specifically the horse that Laura is riding is an American quarter horse and is one of the more trained reiners working cow horses. And then apparently the two in the back that the boys are on, they're used for lesson horses for working cow horse type things. And then they are a ranch that just does tours in addition to being a performance horse ranch. So the tours are just kind of like a little side gig that they do. And I've been having really great conversation with her. So really recommend coming out and being a part of this tour for sure.
for a short period of time. I had to move to small cities.
Yeah. We made it back after our trail ride. Very simple trail ride, but I don't know, it's just kind of cool to be on horseback in a different country. So, you know, for us, we have lifetimes of experience on horseback and doing all of that. But I had a really great conversation with our guide, Laura, and great connection to have, and got to see some pretty places along the way and kind of just relax. So regardless of your experience, horseback, this was a really cool part of our tour. So now we're going to take our taxi up the mountain and go see the monastery and meet up with the rest of the tours at Montserrat. Bailey's dad's commenting on my videos.
I forgot to send it to my dad, so I need to.
He said he's just watching to see Bailey and waiting for Kenneth to cause an international incident.
Oh, very good.
Horse up that thing. Actually, I have time horse doing it. Sit back and do nothing. It's like the 1/4 inch thick wire too.
The sculpture for him. They could move the sculpture, but just a little bit, not too much. Because she started to turn heavier and heavier. And finally, they decided that that was a miracle, and they decided to leave up here the version of Montserrat. Before it was there inside the cave, nowadays it's inside the church. We're going to be able.
We made it to Montserrat, which is more like a town now, but originally it was just the monastery. It is way up here in the clouds. When the monks were here 1,000 years ago, the monastery turns 1,000 years old this year, so this is a very big year for the monastery, but it used to just be the monastery and the monks. They do have a Madonna in a cave, so Catholic religious item in a cave, and there's a big legend that surrounds how the Madonna appeared, and there's all kinds of buildings, different churches up here, basilicas, so really it's turned into its own town up on the mountain, Montserrat, but originally it was just the monastery, and I think that would have been a pretty lonely life, although I suppose that was the point.
And then, have you been in Rome? Roma? No?
I have.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You've got to go. And you can repeat it.
It's on the list.
It's up. Take care with the floor.
Perché monestistiche sono state durante le applicate alla mano di un dall'inizi diciamo come se si può molta gente si può vedere non va a fare
Probably the most interesting thing that we've learned about this place, other than the fact that, I mean, obviously it's 1,000 years old. That's pretty interesting. But a lot of the monastery was destroyed by various entities. So there were a lot of the monastery was destroyed and rebuilt during the Spanish Civil War. Napoleon destroyed a lot of the monastery, and only 3 of the original pieces from 1,000 years ago remain after Napoleon bombed and you know, just destroyed Montserrat. But the other interesting thing was at this building here, which goes into the basilica, they have had some interesting receptions. One of those receptions was the Nazis, because the Nazis were obsessed with finding the Holy Grail. And they believed that Montserrat was housing the Holy Grail. And there was a monk who was a member of the monks here. He was like the monk version of Indiana Jones, and he traveled the whole world and collected all of these amazing artifacts. And that is part of the reason why the Nazis believed that they were housing the Holy Grail inside the mountain at Montserrat. Very interesting.
That's not for me. He's doing samples
The clouds cleared a little bit, so now we get a more clear view. There's a tram that goes straight up. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. I don't know if you can see it right in the crevice there. They're green trams. They go straight up and down. And then there's walking trails that go down as well. But the clouds broke a little bit, and we're able to see more of the mountain. And then across the street is that market that I was at. And this is all local vendors from around the mountain. So lots of cheeses, honey, baked goods. We've been sampling some cheeses. Kenneth and I found some local cheeses here that we're gonna bring home with us. We're fairly certain that we'll make it through customs with them. They're vacuum sealed, so I don't see why we wouldn't. And we're willing to take that risk. They gave us samples of everything. I was shocked. There's a truffle cheese. I don't even like truffles, and it was to die for. And like I said, these are all not necessarily handmade by the people who are here, but everything is local to Montserrat. So everything is made here in local creameries, and they've got all kinds of goodies. So definitely a cool part of coming up to the monastery. We're going to meet our tour bus. We finished up with the tour of Montserrat. Really cool, definitely worth seeing. I will say, I think we would have maybe done it differently, maybe taken the train up. But I mean, obviously riding the horses was really cool as well, and we got to meet Laura, which was awesome. But like, you could take a train up from Barcelona, and I think that would be a really great experience. And the other thing is that I can totally see how this would become just so overcrowded during the peak tourist season, because this is not a very big place. I mean, you can see behind me, that's pretty much this one area, and it loops around to the basilica. So during peak tourism season, I can see how this would become really wild. But definitely we're seeing really cool, beautiful architecture as always, and the views did not disappoint.
Perfect to enjoy the rest of the day. Just in like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, we are going to arrive at...
We are back in Barcelona. Lovely tour, horrible bus ride on the way back, but that's, you know, not the tour's fault. It just is what it is. But now we're going to head back to where our Airbnb was. We've checked out of the Airbnb, but they had lockers for our bags, so our bags are in the lockers. We need to grab our bags and then head to the train station to get on our train to head back to Madrid. And we'll be flying out of Madrid tomorrow.
That is a baby goat.
didn't. We are at Barcelona Sants, which is the train station that we came into when we came from Madrid. So we're gonna go inside, book tickets the same way we did last time. So if you haven't watched that day when we came from Madrid to Barcelona, go back and watch that, because that will show you the train process in Spain. But we're gonna go inside, get our tickets, and then see what the soonest train out of here is. We have about 40 minutes until our train, and Harley and I are going on an adventure. It's a culinary adventure. We are going to go try McDonald's in Spain.
Yeah.
We've been contemplating the idea, because that's just one of the things that you get curious about. Like, what does fast food taste like in foreign countries? So we're going to go over to this McDonald's, I think it's right out the street, and see what McDonald's is like
See a sign that way.
in a foreign country.
Hey.
You guys are about the same,
Yeah.
pretty much the same as
Yeah.
ours. Okay.
They are.
And you got chicken nuggets?
I did get chicken nuggets.
Are they chicken nuggets or the chicken bites?
I think nugs. Let me see. Yeah, they're McNuggets.
I think that's mine. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're finally on the train. It wasn't that long of a wait, but now I can try my McDonald's. I got a chicken sandwich, and instead of getting the fries like Harley did, I got the wedges. So, and then also, instead of ranch dressing, there's a creamy salsa sauce. So I got that to dip my potato wedges in. But it looks like ranch to me. So these are the potato wedges. Just your regular schmegular potato wedge. It's not like ranch, it's almost like tartar sauce. The potato wedges are good. Nothing to write home about. And this is a chicken sandwich. Oh my gosh, it's huge. Hold on. It is huge. Holy smokes. Okay, hold on. Let me make room for this monstrosity. Everyone look away, because I don't know how graceful this is going to be. Honestly, that's a chicken sandwich that you would get in the US at a nice sandwich shop and pay $15 for. That's really good. That's a really good chicken sandwich. So, I mean, the fries, nothing to write home about, but obviously the proteins, really, really good. We made it back to Madrid. It is very much nighttime, but we had more of a direct line on the train today, so it was closer to 2.5 hours instead of 4. And now we're gonna go get Bailey's things. She's keeping her things in a locker because she's technically moving from Kenya back home to Idaho via this trip. So she has her whole life stored in a locker in Madrid. So we're gonna go get that. And then we're going to make our way to our Airbnb and be done for the day. And then tomorrow we wake up and we head back to Texas. We made it to our Airbnb, our final Airbnb, and honestly, Kenneth's gonna go find something to eat. I'm gonna shower. We've got to kind of like reconfigure our bags, but it's pretty much the end of our trip. If you've tagged along so far, all the way through, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and then go watch all of the other travel vlogs, starting with day 1 all the way through today, and you can go see Madrid and Barcelona with us. It was our first time here. We all kind of want to come back because we feel like there was a lot we haven't seen, but we had an amazing time regardless. Highly recommend the country of Spain. It's a definite must-see on your next international trip. With that, I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys back in the United States for the regular schmegular content.